Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yo, what's up, Lakers fan? Welcome back to another episode of Breakfast at Tiffany. So, today, I'm going to talk about Lakers center rotation, like how JJ Redick is using the bigs. Moving into the final stretch of the regular season, one thing that's going to be really interesting to watch is how JJ continues to use the Lakers' different lineup, right? Now we have Luka running the offense. One thing that's always important in his game is his center partner. Luka's best offenses usually happen when the big next to him face the way he likes to play, right? This is also something I've been paying attention to in my news every time I watch the games, because the Lakers actually have a few very different types of centers right now, which I felt is a privilege a few weeks ago. Okay, so let's start with Jason Hayes, because he's quietly been having a pretty good run lately. JJ Redick actually pointed out recently that some of the Lakers' most positive lineups have been the ones with Luka and Hayes on the floor together. Even in the loss to the Denver the other day, those lineups were genuinely really good. They have some really good offense stretch, not gonna lie. And JJ Redick talked about how those combinations give Luka outlets and give Hayes room to run. And we saw that play out in real time. When Jason Hayes rose to the basket, Luka basically forced the defense into a decision. So, take the Nuggets game as an example. When the pick and roll happens, Jokic has two choices. If Jokic stays in drop coverage, Luka gets the space for his step-back three or the mid-range pull-up. If Jokic stepped up to slow down the ball handler, that's when Hayes slips behind the defense for the lob. That's exactly the kind of action that Luka loves to run. I know this doesn't work against every team. Some teams switch more aggressively or defend screens differently. But teams like Denver don't switch a lot on fake screens or big side screens. So that opens up a different look for the Lakers to run the offense. The Lakers can create separation through those actions. Once the perimeter player sets the first screen and gets a little space, Hayes can dive quickly to the rim for the lob or make a quick decision with the ball, like what he wants to contest the basket by his own or he wants to pass out. And that's actually one of the biggest improvements I've noticed with Hayes this season. Last year, his decision-making felt pretty inconsistent. Sometimes it looked like he was just jumping around without really reading the play. But this year, he's different. He's been much more consistent finishing the ring and making quicker reads after the pick and roll. Occasionally, you even see him make the right pass to a corner shooter, which honestly wasn't something we saw much from him before. And the Hayes-Luka connection is actually showing up in the numbers too. Among 98 player combinations in the league, where one player has assisted another at least 50 times, Luka has assisted Hayes 52 times in just 542 minutes together. That works out to 3.5 assists per 36 minutes, which marks 7th in the entire league. Amazing. So that chemistry is very real. Now Hayes still has limitations, right? Against real big centers, he can get overwhelmed basically. But when the Lakers face smaller lineups or less physical bigs, his agility becomes a real advantage. We saw some of that against the New Orleans recently. His defensive energy and hustle were actually a big part of slowing down Zion. And during the late 2014-7 run, he actually helped change the tempo of the game. Offensively, he just makes things slower, easier. He catch that quick Luka pass, finish above the ring, and his lob spread naturally creates spacing. His offensive skills is not as versatile as Ayton's, I have to admit here, but he understands better like when to cut, when to roll, and when to attack the ring. This is so important here. Compared to last season, the improvement has been pretty noticeable. He's gone from a player with questionable defensive awareness to a solid backup center who brings real energy to the lineup. So the screens are better, the positioning is better, and even though he still gets split into fours sometimes, the athleticism he brings can really change the pace of the game. Give a shout to Hayes, you did a great job. We all see that. And just keep it going. Now let's talk about a little bit about messy Kleber. A healthy Kleber has actually been eating into some of Vandel's minute, and it's easy to see why. He is exactly the type of player JJ likes in his system. He spaces the floor, makes quick decisions, and defensively, he is very reliable. His screens are solid, and the timing of his pick and roll actions has been really clean. He's not flashy, but he's the kind of player who helps everything around him function better. And then there's DeAndre Ayton, which honestly makes the center rotation a lot more complicated. I've been talking about him for a long time, and I also did a show for him last episode, but Ayton has still been an important piece for Lakers this season. That's actually an interesting state here. The Lakers are 16-3 when Ayton takes more than 10 shots in a game. So when he's involved offensively, it clearly impacts winning. This season, he's played 54 games, averaged 22.6 points on 66.7 shooting rate with 8.2 rebounds in about 27 minutes per game. But here's the interesting part. He's averaged only 8.6 shot attempts per game, which is a career low. And he's been pretty open about feeling like he doesn't get enough touches. Now, I understand the frustration. I totally do. And player at that level wants to be more involved. I agree with that 100%. But at the same time, when you are playing next to Luka and other offensive stars, like LeBron, like Austin, that's kind of the reality here. Ayton even mentioned that he's not clean Capella, right? Meaning he doesn't see himself as just a rim runner, just a shot catcher. He believes he can create his own offense. And honestly, I respect the confidence. I really do. But if we are being real, his handle is not that good. It's hard to see him consistently creating his own shot off the dribble. Personally, I think the bigger key for him is focus and positioning. because we know Luka has some of the best vision in the league, probably in the world. Even when it looks like there's no passing angle, he somehow finds one. He finds a way. If Ayton is ready and locked in, those touches will come naturally. Now, the other complication is the rotation itself. I don't really see the Lakers moving Ayton to the bench. That's probably not something he would accept, especially with his $8 million player option next season. So, figuring out how to balance Ayton, Hayes, and Kleber is something the coaching staff will definitely need to keep moving on. But if they can figure it out, this could actually become a luxury. You could have Ayton controlling the paint and hitting those mid-range jumpers. You can have Kleber spacing the floor and setting smart screens. That's something I really appreciate watching his games. And you have Hayes flying to the ring for lobs and dunks. Those are three very different skill sets. And if JJ Redick finds the right balance, the Lakers suddenly have a really flexible center rotations heading into the playoff. So let's finger crossed everything just moving on like the way we expect. I'll get back to you soon and talk about more Lakers basketball, okay? At the same time, please keep yourself safe. Keep hydrated, keep being positive, keep watching Lakers games. Let's go Lakers!